Hello and welcome to the Generation Gap podcast. I'm Lunchbox.
And I'm Gleek.
This week I've been a little bit busy on and off, and I know the last episode I meant to get to like a ton of different topics, and I just got stuck on one.
Yeah, you went a little long on wrestling.
Yeah, it was like a mouse like trying to go through a sticky pad.
Yeah,
it's like it thinks it can run. It thinks it can run through it.
Yeah,
and it just just got roll right the fuck up into it, just right underneath the counter. Just skidded like a cat on like a hardwood floor all over the place, and
like one of them damn trucks in a mud bog. You know, it just hits the fucking mud doing like 100 miles an hour and just buries the fuck up.
Nose first into it, like radiator completely caked up.
Yeah,
no fun had whatsoever. Something that I'm going to talk about last time. Everyone's been shitting kittens about the next Final Fantasy game. Yeah. My reaction too. I had seen a little bit of the gameplay of it from probably about like 6 months ago when they first like had the demo, and it was more of like a driving the car around in the quote unquote open world for this demo.
Okay. With
the last few Final Fantasy games, and JonTron touched on this, it's been Final Hallway.
Yeah. Where
it seems like an expansive world, but really you go along one path.
Oh yeah, it's all on rails.
Yeah, and I don't understand that. Like former Final Fantasy games, the overworld, you can explore it like any way you want it to. Like even though the story was linear, and yet you did things in a certain order, you could still, move around. But the other Final Fantasy games here recently, you just felt like you go in a straight line. And I never had any love for the series outside of Tactics.
Yeah.
Which turn-based combat is something that I know that you and I differ on, but there are some things that I like about it. Being as the small-scale battles, like in Tactics Advanced, like for the Game Boy Advance, was really fun.
Well, I don't know. I haven't played Final Fantasy since 6, I think. Like, so that game just ruined me on it.
Yeah.
The one for P1, I think.
The one that was like 3-disc.
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah.
Fuck everything about that game.
I didn't get into any other games, but the Tactics, it just had Fallout, like original Fallout style combat, where you moved around the board. Yeah. And you had to like use your points wisely.
The way Fallout should be.
Give or take.
No, ain't no give or take to it. I want old school Fallout,
and I want Warcraft to be good again. But we all can't get what we want.
Yeah,
but
goodbye independent servers.
Actually, that's where I got my start on, was private servers, which I'll go into here that into a minute.
All right,
but Final Fantasy 15 demo. Okay, I didn't get to play the one that came out and was ended just as I got my PS4. But I played this one, and I think this one like showcases more of the combat than the other one. You start out as this kid that just is in like a nightmare coma or something, right? Okay, and it's not really a nightmare. You fall then into this dream world, and
was it turned into fucking little Nemo all of a sudden?
It gets weird, like really weird, really quickly. Like of course the Japanese are strange. We've had all of our lol. They have Gundam condoms, kind of shit, but.
Gundam condoms.
They do. They have Gundam condoms.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But all three sizes: small, smaller, and smallest.
But you fall into this like dream world thing, and the game is beautiful, right? It's just gorgeous. I'm just like, holy shit, this looks good. This is what next gen should feel like. And then comes in this like white, like the little foxes, like little snow foxes. All right, one approaches you and has a little, this like maybe like an 1.5-2 inch unicorn horn on its forehead.
Oh no!
And it's like a bone horn. Like you can tell it's like, yeah, like maybe it's got some kind of parasite growing out of its forehead. And then like it nudges your cell phone over to you.
Oh my god!
Yeah, your smartphone.
This is not. So far, you're describing something I just wouldn't want to touch with a 10-foot stick, man.
It gets even weirder. Like this is barely scratching the surface. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
He nudges the phone over to you, and he communicates through high pitched noises, kind of like Navi from The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. Oh, and whatever God. Like whatever the noises is, it comes up on your phone as like an emoji.
Oh fuck this!
Like this is like I was so like, what the fuck, Japan? Like what the fuck, Square Enix, right?
Yeah. Side note, with Navi, I always kept hoping that I could like find a tennis racket or something.
Hey, listen.
That's what I'm saying. Just knock that bitch into the next screen. Just pow.
Next loading screen.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and then like it's a little tutorial thing where you step over like all these discs and it like changes the times of day and shit, and it goes over the basics of combat like a demo should.
Mm-hmm.
It shows you a little bit of the car driving mechanics. It's like the fucking fighting in it. It isn't the turn based shit. Yeah, it's more of an action RPG like what Final Fantasy I think 7 or 8 was.
Okay.
So it's a lot of dodge rolling and hitting shit, and it's just boring combat.
It's 13 hours of you've encountered a slime.
God no, they said they're not doing that in this one.
Oh God, that's what I'm saying. Burnt me out.
Yeah, that's what did it for me with Dragon Warrior.
Yeah, when I had the same fight for about the 10,000th time, I didn't give a fuck no more.
See, that's what I liked about Pokemon games. Is like you can avoid the high grass if you wanted to. With Final Fantasy, there's no getting away from it.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same with fucking Dragon Warrior too. It's like they're like to me, Pokemon at an RPG standpoint is perfect for both East and West, because like it just gets to a point. It's like, fuck, dude, I don't want to fight another Weedle.
Yeah,
like you can just like, all right, I use cut on the grass and it will cut the grass, and you just fucking walk through it and use cut again.
Yeah,
and you can like program it to your select button, so you can just be like cut, and just go all the way the fuck down and not have to deal with anything if you didn't want to.
Yeah,
which is the best way to play because you get to pick and choose your battles when and where.
Mm-hmm.
Final Fantasy, on the other hand, you don't get to do that shit.
Yeah,
but anyway,
don't forget it always would pop up with that noise too. And remember that annoying ass noise when a fight would start? It was like doo-la-la-lee.
Yeah.
Every fucking time, same goddamn sound over and
over. Every JRPG does that too.
Yeah.
Like it almost has like the same style of sound.
Yeah.
Like Dragon Warrior does it too. But all right,
that's another one I haven't played since like Nintendo days.
Dragon Warrior?
Yeah, Dragon Warrior.
The best one is on the Game Boy Color.
Really?
And it's because they make you have the ability to gain monsters as friends, and you make them fight instead. So you can have like a party of 3 or 4 monsters, and yeah, the puzzles in it are a lot better too.
I think I played, I want to say like 1, 2, and 3. Yeah, back on the Nintendo. There might have been one I played on Super Nintendo. I can't remember, but it's been forever.
But all right. They have like the little disc things in Final Fantasy 15 on this demo, which changes the time of day and the weather. And I guess it was more of like to show off the graphical capabilities that they were doing in this. But there are certain discs that made your character transform into an animal. Yeah. One of which was like a cross between what looked to be a moose and a giraffe. I am not shitting you.
I don't want to play Final Furry.
Final Furry 15.
Yiffin' hell.
Oh God. It's probably already a game. It's probably a game on some furry fandom site.
Fur Fag Edition.
Yeah. Where it has all the DLC.
Yeah.
Where you get to be a raccoon.
Or it's one of them Japanese dating games, but this one is the fur fag trying to go fuck the pony.
Have you seen the Japanese dating game where you try to date the different pigeons?
What?
It's called Hayato Boyfriend.
Oh my god.
And I think you're human.
Uh-huh.
And you go to a high school that's all pigeons.
Uh-huh.
I think it was made as a joke. I hope it was made as a joke.
Now, let's throw a little spin on it. We can make this game actually interesting. If you were like the Good Feathers. You remember from Animaniacs?
Yeah. Dude, oh, fuck. That'd be so hilarious, dude. I'd play the shit out of it. Like
Good Feathers dating game.
You always go for the fat one because he's got the most money.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least he feels like he was the boss anyway. So
yeah.
But all right, the other thing you get to transform into in this demo is a crocodile thing.
Okay.
That has like wings or like wing-like appendages on the backs of its front arms, or front legs, which aren't used at all. Right?
Okay.
And the combat in this game is so easy. The only time I was ever hit was I was in a hallway, or I was in an alleyway. There was like 4 enemies, and one shot me in the back one time. The boss battle is supposed to be like this like big brooding thing. I was like, all right, what's my heaviest weapon? Heaviest, slowest weapon. I was like, I'm going to use that.
Yeah.
The boss telegraphs his moves from like a mile away. You duck, dodge, roll out of that, and then you just hit him with a weapon. And since it was the strongest one, it only took 10 hits.
Yeah, but most demos usually, they nerf the shit out of a demo to get you into it.
Yeah, but I don't think that they thought their combat through all that well. Especially, maybe it's because like I've been playing so many action games here lately.
Maybe they make up by throwing a lot of it at you.
They might, because they claim, and I don't know whether or not to believe them, just because Square Enix lies. Like a lot of game companies.
Yeah.
But they're promising this huge expansive world. And I'm like, fucking prove it. Like Mad Max has a gigantic world, and a lot of people are like, well, it feels empty. And I'm like, it's Mad fucking Max.
It's a fucking wasteland.
It's a nuclear apocalypse game. A post-nuclear apocalypse game.
You're technically a part of it, running around where the ocean used to be. Of course it's fucking empty.
Yeah, the part where there's the airport that used to be is called the Dunes, and you know what? There's nothing in it. And that's what it's supposed to be.
Yeah. He was in the wasteland, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
What the fuck do you want?
They're like, well, it just feels like an empty world. And I'm like, well, you should, like, there are other... Yeah.
Just what
there are other sandbox games. Like, Mad Max is the sandiest of sandbox games, right? And it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Like...
the sandiest of sandboxes.
But it's not like what people say like Far Cry is. Like Far Cry is fucking empty when it's not supposed to be, right? Because it's supposed to be like teeming with wildlife and people, but yet again they're like, it feels empty. Like, well, that's their fault, right?
And then again, though, isn't it also supposed to be set in the past? It wasn't like...
I'm talking about like all the Far Cries.
Oh,
like Far Cry 3 and 4. Like
there's the newest one. I'm like, it's supposed to be fucking Dawn of Man. There isn't a bunch of us.
Well, they kind of like stress that too in that one, but they're like, well, it still feels empty due to like the lack of wildlife, and which I can see that too. But for anyone to have that complaint about a Mad Max game is pretty retarded. It's like, well, what do you want there to be? Like a 7-Eleven, like every fucking quarter mile?
Well, yeah, which would be fine as long as it was bombed out and burned and looted. And
well, I can see that.
Maybe if he's getting, the outskirts of some destroyed city or
I could see that if they made it in like maybe Sydney, right? Or maybe like 50 years before, or like 100 years before.
Yeah.
Like this shit seems like it looks like it is. I could see if they had like a bombed out looking 7-Eleven, the shit that like Fallout 4 has.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's supposed to be like the fucking ocean.
And not only that, when you like watch the films, that was supposed to be boondocks before the war. You want to see something fucking stupid?
All the time.
All right. Get on Wikipedia and you look up the Ford Falcon XP.
Okay.
And you scan further, like on down the page, and you're going to find a picture of Max's car, in front of Broken Hills.
Okay.
And anybody do this, just look it up, zoom in. That fucking picture is so photoshopped, it ain't even funny.
You have to look up, it's Ford Falcon XP, and it is near the end of the page, and it has a picture of the main Force Patrol pursuit car, but in front of that is, Max's vehicle, and yeah, they have, it's a woman with 3 legs, 2 waists. They freakishly photoshopped the living fuck out of this kid in a jacket's face. Like, it almost looks like like if the Joker was digitized and like half his face just turned into pixels. Yeah. And then this woman's arm is extremely long.
Yeah, it just I was, like I said, looking up the car, I do this kind of stupid shit sometimes, looking up that kind of crap. And hey, check this out. Here's Max's car. And I looked at, as soon as I opened that picture, it was like, what in the fuck?
Which the strange thing about it is, if they want, like, they blurred out some faces here in the back, but they just used like a blur tool. Yeah. Why the fuck did they like completely just mangle these other people in this photo?
I know it. It's freakish.
Like they didn't even bother to, like, if you had the right technology, you can clean this image up and get the license plate off a car in the background easily. Yeah. But they completely mangled these 2 people.
Yeah, I know. Like, so the bitch looks like she got 3 legs.
Like this is a lesson in how not to censor your Photoshop. Fuck me, dude.
Well, I think part of it, though, is just my nature. I can't help but notice shit sometimes in the background. Most people would look at that picture and they just see the car.
Yeah, but they didn't even bother to like censor out the faces that are in the reflection of the car. Yeah, like you can't make them out that well, but they still didn't bother to try to clean that up a bit.
Yeah, it's just a bad fucked up Photoshop job.
Jesus Christ, that's so terrible. I wonder if they do it like any other pictures here. But yeah,
what a fucked up tangent.
but going back to a little bit of video game shit, and this is, I know, like, far more important to me than it is to you, and probably a lot of the people that listen.
What's that?
That World of Warcraft private server got shut down.
I think it's a big fucking deal.
Well,
explain for folks that might not know what happened.
Okay.
Kind of give a breakdown of it.
Well, let me like go into a detail what a private server is. There's a difference in between retail and private server. A retail server for the World of Warcraft is ran by Blizzard. It's up to the date with every expansion. It's the one that's always on the cutting edge of the content. It's the one that people actually play and get competitive and pay for. Yeah. A private server is ran pretty much one of 2 ways. Either you have a pay to win, instant max level, PvP kind of just fun server kind of thing, or you have what I used to play on, even though like it had boosted XP rates. Is more of a Blizzard like server where there's no donor items, you don't pay to win, but it's all completely free. Like you have the option to donate, but it's not like a given. Yeah. And so what happened was this vanilla WoW, which is before any expansion, it's just the base game itself. Yeah. Server called Nostrilius, I think is how you say it. It's more of a French name. Yeah. Was shut down. And the people that were running it did it for the love of the game. Yeah. They didn't take any donations. I think they made probably a little bit of ad revenue from their website because they did have banner ads like you would any website, just like their forums did.
Yeah, probably trying to just pay for the bandwidth or something.
Exactly. That's what I think they were probably paying for. But it was a large private server, and I used to play on a large private server that, like, back during the BC days when it was the most popular, where you probably had 8 to 12 million people on retail and like another probably 18 million people on private servers. Yeah. Just because at that time, it wasn't available to everybody worldwide. Yeah. I remember playing with people from Italy and Russia and Singapore where they didn't have like retail copies of the game.
Yeah.
Of course, I think all them places now do, but that's beside the point.
Just that too, there was a shit ton of people that just didn't have $14 a fucking month.
Yeah, and I was one of those kids. Yeah. And for me, that's where I really fell in love with the game. Mm-hmm. I didn't know dick about it, but it was kind of practice to cut my teeth before I got like heavily involved in playing WoW. But what these people did was they did it for the love of the original game. Mm-hmm. And in some way they were kind of preserving what it used to be, like an experience for people, because that experience from the base game is all but gone. Mm-hmm. Like, it's with the latest expansions, it feels like, especially at max level, it feels like it's more chores to do than it is actually going out and having fun playing the game. And there are people that argue for and against like the old ways, because you used to be able to have such a hard time trying to find a group for anything, and now it's just pretty much sitting in a queue and wait until your next spot in line comes up and it's like, oh yeah, you can now do this.
Yeah, it's like waiting in line for a fucking roller coaster ride.
Yeah, you'll eventually get to the spot, but that's better than trying to find the people to put the roller coaster together.
Well, I think, to me, though, half the fun would be trying to find people worth a shit to hang out with. And
well, yeah, that's what guilds were for.
Yeah.
But if you want to run like a 5-man dungeon at level, say, like it was like level 20, right? Good fucking luck finding anybody that was around the same level as you, that knew enough about their class to be able to heal or tank or do DPS properly back in the day, especially that level where everyone's a noob pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, there wasn't very many people that are like, I'm going to play 2 or 3 classes to get them all the way up. No, because it took 3 months to level up a character.
Yeah.
And it took even longer to get geared. But there were, going back before I get on a huge tangent on that, but there were people that preserved it like the way that it was. And Blizzard Activision, I don't like, there's rumors going around that Blizzard is maybe thinking about trying to start up a legacy server kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where they'll go back through and they'll have servers dedicated to their old expansions.
Yeah.
And this kind of like makes people wonder about it at the same time, but they shut it down. And Blizzard shut down my old server that I used to play Burning Crusade on, because it was at the same point that Nostrilius was at.
Yeah.
It was called Burning WoW. Was the name of that old server. It's deader than fucking disco now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was.
I think a lot of it, they're trying to protect their fucking intellectual property, and I understand all that horseshit.
Yeah.
But I think they're dropping the fucking ball. Now, maybe if they're wanting to set up their own servers for this shit, it might be different. But I think what they should have done, you have an established server, you have an established base of people that go to it, all right? Why not just offer the motherfuckers a job?
Well,
and just straight up say, look, we could sue your ass and shut you down, all right? Or we're gonna offer you the fucking job to run the server for us.
Well, the thing is, Nostrilius had their own tech support. Yeah. Nostrilius had their own phone support.
That's what I'm saying. These people had their shit together.
They had like, if they wanted to set up like an EU legacy server, they could have hired the Nostrilius people right to go. It's like, good job, guys. Yep. Like how companies hire the hackers that hacked into their shit to do internet security. Like I have no problem with that whatsoever.
Yeah.
What I have a problem with here on both sides is Nostrilius knew that they were doing something bad, but yet again, they weren't taking anything from Blizzard. Like they weren't taking any subscribers away from Blizzard.
And sometimes you got to do bad to do good, man.
Yeah, but that's my biggest gripe. Is like, all right, I can see where Blizz would want people to try to come back to their game, but that's not the way you do it.
Yeah,
the way you do it is you make content that's so good
Yeah.
That you don't want to go back and play the original. Because, like even though, like, you have the fond memories of the original, make something even better. Like, stop giving me garrisons.
Yeah.
Stop it. Like, I'm starting to get a little bit worried now, seeing, like, some of the people in the Legion Alpha that are going through and they're like, because they're supposed to be class order halls. Like, and I'm a priest. Like, priests are supposed to have, like, quite a big role in this next one. I'm like, fucking finally.
Yeah.
And they put a garrison like table in an order in the order hall. And what a garrison table is you pretty much, you walk up to it, you assign where your followers go, and then it's like an hour to 8 hours later, and then you check back into it, you collect your reward, and you put them out in a mission again.
Yeah.
That's like the Facebook game style of gameplay.
Yeah.
And then everyone got excited.
They've turned WoW into Farmville.
Yeah. Yeah. And then everyone got excited for, I think it was patch 6.2. Yeah. It was patch 6.2 where they're like, all right, we're going to make shipyards and you'll be able to build boats and there's going to be boat battles.
Yay.
And you're like, fuck yeah, I finally get to be a pirate. Or if you're like actually me and I'm like, ah, shit, dude, I don't want to ride on the fucking seas, dude.
You had a Seinfeld moment. I don't want to be a pirate.
Yeah, I don't want to be a pirate. But like, I don't like being on boats in WoW, dude. That's like, for me, that's the waiting time. Like, oh fuck, I gotta take the boat from the Strangledorm. What a piece of shit.
Well, time to go take a shit.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like, and then by the time you shit and come back, you've made the trip like 6 times. God, fuck.
Fuck, I missed I missed the fucking destination.
But WoW is not a thing where vehicle battles and aerial vehicle battles are fun. They're just not. Stop it, Blizzard. Stop it. Stop it.
Yeah.
No, it's not fun. But at least in vehicle battles and the airship battles, you can control your airship and your vehicle.
Yeah.
No, not for your little port thing, because they just made another garrison table, the exact same as the other one, but this time instead of moving people over into the slot, you move a boat over into the slot.
Yay.
Yeah. And
so I mean, it never occurred to them though that they could make boat battles exciting
by making them raids, which they had before.
Multiple people, y'all get on the same ship. They control the different weapons. One guy's the pilot, and
they've actually done this before.
They have.
Yeah. It was in Wrath of the Lich King, where it was called the Airship Battle in the Ice Crown Citadel. It was in between, it was an actual, like, instanced fight, like a boss fight, where the Alliance and the Horde vessels that had been flying around Ice Crown, and depending on which faction you were, fought. Like,
cool.
Fought, like, had a big battle to see which one would actually land on the Citadel first. That was a fun fight. And, like, you had different people, like, aiming, arming the cannons at different times. Like, of course, like, it was on a set course in the sky.
Yeah.
So you can't really pilot it. But for a raid leader, that fight is so, like, hard to coordinate. Like, you're just hoping, like, it's like, please don't stand in the fire and hit the shit. And there's, like, several parts where you send, like, people over to the other ship.
Oh, you get to board?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
And there's borders onto your ship, and you have to, like, allocate your people in the right way. Dude, it is a fun fight.
I've always wanted it. It reminds me, I've always wanted Spelljammer. Okay?
Yeah.
I've always wanted a fucking Spelljammer video game. And the closest we ever got was Treasure Planet.
Yeah.
Which ripped them the fuck off. Goddamn Disney, fuck TSR, boy. But, there's another one. If you ever get a chance, go play the old PC version of Treasure Planet. Disney as fuck, but goddamn, you had some cool ship-to-ship combat for that time period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The best ship-to-ship combat that I've ever played was in Sid Meier's Pirates.
Oh,
like
yeah.
The not the older one, but the newest one.
Yeah.
That was just fun to fuck around with.
Well, this was cool. You could, set up your entire crew and... Yeah.
Like with the setting up of the crew, Sid Meier's Pirates was very hands-off. Like, it was just like an arbitrary number to go throw at the other ship.
Yeah. With Sid Meier's Pirates... that game is fucking badass.
And it's such like a time sink too.
Except for one thing.
You could easily sit like 8 hours and be like, I haven't accomplished anything.
Just one thing that annoyed me about that game. The dancing.
The dancing?
I hate the whole fucking dance thing.
It was about schmoozing.
I don't give a fuck. I wanted to just... There was one part I didn't want to cheat, but I was like, I really wished I could find a macro.
Where it just danced automatically?
Yeah, just would do it automatic. Let's get past it. I'll go make a sandwich while this shit's running. And...
About like the mods I had for like Fallout and the Elder Scrolls, where whenever it came to either hacking a terminal or picking a lock, it was just instant, so I didn't have to deal with that.
Exactly. And I think there has to be a way.
There's probably like a mod out there somewhere. Like it's just something to dig through the Steam community for.
I like that game. But there was several times when I would get, like, way the hell into it. Mm-hmm. And I'm literally, like, the top fucking pirate. My fleet is, like, every captain's fucking flagship. All built up. And then, your character's old. Time to retire. And I'm like, fuck you, the game just got good.
Yeah, that was my problem. Like, I either got killed somehow, or I got old and died.
And then I'd get pissed off. Like if I have to search Hispaniola or however you fucking say it. If I have to search, that goddamn island one more time. This is where we had to get off the boat and go look for shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole, like, did you ever find your sister in it? Like, well, it was supposed to be like the main, like if there was a story, that was it.
I think I did once.
I never did. Like I got so it was pretty much like me with Fallout 4.
Yeah.
Where eventually it was like I did so many side quests. I was like, "Who's Sean? Who's that? Oh yeah, I'm supposed to be trying to find that guy."
Well, see, with me, I was weird about the way I was. I always played the English.
Okay.
All right, that was just me. I played the English, and I never attacked English ships. Never. I don't give a damn how big of a fat target they were. No, sir. The first ones, though, that always got it...
Was the Spanish?
The Spanish and the French.
Dude,
I'd fucking jump their ass in a heartbeat.
I always played as the Dutch. Because,
really?
like, yeah, the starting ship for the Dutch is, like, such a quick little bastard. Like I could, like, no shit. Like, the first thing I always took was a Spanish freighter.
Yeah.
Like, I always, like, set out, like, a Spanish harbor, just, like, waited for one to come up.
Yeah.
And as soon as it did, I was, like, would just, like, circle it, like, as fast as possible. And just, like, keep hitting it with shit all around the side. Just take the freighter and use that as my flagship. The biggest fucking ship.
Yeah, I had a fleet one time. It was nothing but like Spanish treasure ships.
Mm-hmm.
Big, fat, slow bastards, And,
God.
But you could arm them to the teeth and they'd carry a fucking ton.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, we got off on a tangent on that.
Yeah, but yeah, to go back to kind of touch up on the kind of end, at least my opinion on the whole like WoW private server thing is they're filling a niche that Blizzard isn't.
Yeah.
At least for the time being.
Yeah. And if Blizzard was smart, they would have hired these guys.
Well, it's like what Bethesda did, and it's what like Mojang did, like the creators of Minecraft. Bethesda, they let their modding community go wild.
Yeah.
Like they don't care. And Mojang, they did the exact same thing, and there were some guys that actually got hired or they bought the intellectual property of to put into their game. Like the guy that made the Mo Creatures mod, he made horses in this Mo Creatures mod, and the guys at Mojang was like, dude, we'll buy your creative assets just so we have them in the vanilla game.
Yeah. So
like I can agree with doing that, but dude, like even though it is against like the terms of service, like it's like it's Blizzard Activision or Activision Blizzard is so armed to the teeth and lawyers, like they can just like bully whoever they want out.
Yeah, like they're the biggest game company there is now.
Yeah. Because like fuck, dude, EA is a piece of shit.
Yeah,
and EA, what they do as a publisher and a developer is they eat smaller development companies like Maxis and BioWare and all these other ones that have made...
I miss Maxis.
Yeah. Like, and they just like eat these developers alive until they're just the names of like their former company. Like, even though it'll say like on Battlefront it'll say DICE, bullshit. It's not DICE. It's just EA's DICE.
Yeah.
It's like but Activision doesn't really touch its developers.
Yeah.
But Blizzard and Activision had such an elbowing contest when they first got into it, because Activision owns Call of Duty, which is arguably the biggest FPS franchise there is.
Yeah, it's dude bro bullshit.
Yeah. But they were in such an elbowing contest when Activision bought Blizzard's parent company that Blizzard argued for it to be called Blizzard Activision. And this was probably around 2008. This is when Blizzard had the balls, right? This was right before Wrath of the Lich King. Yeah. Like, their biggest expansion ever. They topped like 15 million people playing worldwide. They were like willing to pay $15 a month.
Fuck.
Because it was such a good game at that point.
Yeah.
Their subscriber numbers are about less than half of that now.
Yeah.
Because
I've seen a chart that showed the subscriber numbers over the different releases.
Yeah. To me, the best game, the best expansion, and everyone will that's ever played WoW will hate my guts for this, was Mist of Pandaria.
Yeah, that's just because you got a hard on for pandas.
Well, it's not only that I have a hard on for pandas, but the story was good. It was all original. It was all fleshed out. It wasn't something that was in any of the books before.
Yeah.
And it was a complete change.
Yeah.
Like they had the pretty much the world turtle that, all right, a panda had left on this turtle's back from Pandaria, and over time the turtle grew larger, and more citizens from Pandaria, more Pandarian, got onto the turtle's back. And eventually the turtle got so big that it had generations of Pandarian living on its back.
Yeah.
And it had like forests, and they had built like structures on it.
Yeah.
It's a great concept.
Yeah, they even had that in D&D.
Yeah.
There was a turtle it looked like an island.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so good, and it like when you first roll a Pandarian, it automatically gets you in the culture and the mindset of this faction. Or they go either way. They're a neutral faction. Like Alliance or Horde, because they have two different mindset. They have the think of a solution and then act, and then they have act on the now.
Yeah.
Like, they believe that not doing anything in the moment is doing something wrong. Like, you have to take a chance.
Yeah. And
that was the faction that I went with, because I went with the Horde. In the Alliance, they're the wait around, see what happens kind of thing. La, 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 la. We're a bunch of elves out in the forest, and you can go fuck yourself. But yeah. But it introduced like all these concepts, and like, I am a fucking giant nerd for Eastern philosophy.
Yeah.
And it introduced like all these concepts that I knew about it, and the storytelling was so good. And they have Lore Walker Cho. People need to look up Lore Walker Cho. One of the best fucking lore characters there is, because he's like a storytelling panda, and it's so great. Like, he'll go back through like when you first meet him, when you reach Pandaria, he was like, "Oh, you're one of the ones from the Wandering Isle, but with who you have went with, you have seen a lot of war and bloodshed." My heart just broke. My heart broke right then, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
Now, see, I think they need to go back and make all that shit available. All right, for people that want a regular subscription, they pay the $15. They get the current fucking game. That's it, just the current version of the game. Let's say that you pay $20, you get access to every fucking version of the game that you want to play. But make subscription levels. If you just want to play the very first original fucking game, like that was on that private server, they could have hired these fucking assholes. All right, keep your shit running, and we're going to charge $5 a fucking month.
And I think that
people would have jumped all over it.
I think that would benefit the community so much.
Yeah, like, and it would encourage people to get into it. Some people that, saying, fuck, I don't want all this fancy shit. It's only worth $5 to me. They're still going to hang around and might resubscribe when a new game comes out.
Yeah.
expansion or something.
My thing is community is suffering because Blizzard has forced the community to suffer.
Yeah, well, it's they don't give a fuck. They're like any other big corporation. We don't give a fuck what you want. You're going to buy what the fuck we want you to have.
Yeah, and they've done it the past 3 expansions of when, well, at least the last one for real, where they'll get close to release date and then they'll get into lazy mode and they'll just push out whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah,
and that was like with garrisons and the shit battles. Blizzard has a reputation of taking time with their games, and this was before Activision bought them out. Blizzard was notorious. I mean, look at the fucking wait time from StarCraft to StarCraft 2. Look at the wait time from Diablo 2 to Diablo 3.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, people, like, it's worse than a cycle for the next Civilization game.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I've been waiting for Civilization 6 since 2010. Yeah. Like when Civilization 5 came out. No shit. Like, I remember the release date. I bought that shit. It came out, I think, in October of 2010.
It was like waiting for Duke Nukem Forever.
Yeah. And they just got duked on for Duke Nukem Forever.
But old Dookie, boy.
But there was like a 1.5 to 2 year wait in between Vanilla and the Burning Crusade, which to keep an MMO alive, you have to have that. And it was another like 1.5 to 2 year wait for the Wrath of Lich King, and so on and so forth.
Well, it makes sense. You know, you let it go for a while,
and they kept building on the expansion.
Yeah,
like with the Burning Crusade, they introduced like the base amount and the entry raids, like the dungeons and the entry raids, and the next patch they would introduce like more raids. And you would get another higher gear tier, and then finally they would release like an even bigger set of raids like Black Temple, which was I think 2.3, and then they had 2.4, which was the Sunwell, which had just godly amount of gear at that time. And they did the same thing for every one of them. With Warlords of Draenor, they had the original release date, which was called Patch 6.0, which had all of the dungeons and the base amount of raids. Granted, I think there was 3 raids in this one. Then they had 5.1 came out. Nothing came out in 5.1. There were no new raids. It was just, I think it was like they introduced flying and a couple of other things. And everybody was like, what the fuck is going on here? And then released 5.2, which was one new area to Draenor. The ship thing, the port, and the last raid of the expansion in 2 patches, which is unheard of. And like, you want to stretch this out, like the community hates it.
Yeah.
And we've been made to feel so isolated from each other that like we were promised 2 main capital cities in this expansion, and we got 2 camps on either side of a battleground.
Yay.
Which feels small as fuck, and it feels like rushed and just thrown out there.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at this, I'm like, this is not the game that I used to go into.
Well, it doesn't make sense, though, this whole thing, if Activision bought them, right? All right. They've just spent a shit ton of money on this new fucking intellectual property.
But they've had them since probably 2008.
Really? It's been that long. Okay, then they ain't got no excuse. I mean, I could see a company buying a company out, and then you don't just immediately jump on spending a fuck ton of money, developing new shit. I could see that. You wait a while, but...
Which a lot of people will disagree with me too. I like the introduction of the queues, where you don't have to sit there and try to like find people for, like, I'm looking for more, need more people for this or whatever. I like just the ability. It's like, I just want to level a character. I want to have some fun. I want to do some dungeon quest and just be able to go in and go out really quickly.
Well, yeah, but couldn't they have 2 different systems for that?
December 2007 is when they actually bought them.
Okay. Well, think about this. For what you're talking about there. If you want to hurry up and get in the fucking game, right? Mm-hmm. I'm willing to jump in this fucking thing. Just throw me in with random people. All right? We'll do it. But you get 75% of the XP.
I can deal with that too.
If you actually go through the trouble of building your group and looking for the people, you get the full experience point thing.
They do reward you finding at least another person outside of the group to go to queue together to go into that dungeon.
Yeah.
I think it might be an XP bonus.
Yeah.
But I think they also give you a gear thing too. And I know when you do it at max level and you do heroics, they give you like an extra packet of stuff, which I like that reward system because it
encourages people to communicate and
it encourages guilds. Up. Yeah, it encourages guilds to work together, which I don't know about now. Back when I was raid leader during Mists of Pandaria, like I had no problem with because pretty much like I was second command in this guild.
Yeah,
and I was like, all right, dude, we're gonna do mount runs and achievement runs. Like we're gonna get all sorts of titles. And I had people who played the game then that just played it for the love of the game.
Yeah.
And to me, that was like the funnest thing to do. Like us going and fucking around on the tops of mountains and stuff, and accidentally murdering ourselves and having naked yak rides through the forests and the mountains. It was fun as hell.
Yeah.
But
it wasn't so much the game, it was just
the experience you have with the other people that play it.
Yeah.
Like there's no incentive now to like fuck with the other side like we used to. Cause in Pandaria, in the Vale of Eternal Blossoms, on both sides of the map, there is like the horde like little hub, and there is the Alliance hub. And we used to go over and we used to set up on the balcony porch, like the very highest or the lowest point to where we wouldn't get flagged for PvP, and just sit there. And then we would watch it as a couple of rogues would come over and play the sap game, where they would try to see how many people they could sap, like before they eventually got caught. Yeah. And it was the funnest thing to watch because they were flagged for PvP and shit. And, like just stupid shit like that.
So y'all basically just sit off like Statler and Waldorf and just laugh.
Just laugh from the balcony as people were getting knocked out left and right. It was funny. But like I don't know, maybe it's I lost my connection with those people. But it just the guild that I'm in now, good group of people. Like really helpful. They're raiding all the time. They're doing it at an exceptional level. But there's not that, I don't know, at least for me, there's not that, like, let's go out into the world and do something fun.
Why don't you bring it up? Next time you play it, say, all right, this is great, but, man, let's go fuck around for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just fucking let's go do something stupid.
But the game kind of, back when I played it, kind of encouraged things like that. And now it doesn't seem like it does.
Yeah.
Because, like, if you were to go out on a naked yak quest and, like, say you accidentally got the attention of a whole bunch of baddies, if you killed them all, you would get like at least like a cloth drop and some rewards from that.
Well, I've had a thought about this, and this extends to the whole fucking internet. I remember whenever I got like online and shit, and I was kind of a little late to the game. I didn't get on until like 99. And,
yeah.
I mean, I've heard people talk about it even before that, but I remember 98, 99 era onward. It was a different fucking experience than it is now.
There were a whole lot more chat rooms.
Way the hell more chat rooms. People associated with each other more. There was more forums. There was, I mean, I was a member of a community for almost 15 fucking years.
Yeah.
And it was a different feel back then. And maybe part of that come from the Wild West nature. You know, no real rules. But everybody was kind of a noob.
Yeah.
Everybody was new to it. And I'm sure like you and the guys you were fucking around with, y'all knew the game, but y'all probably hadn't been playing that shit for a year. You know what I'm saying? You're probably all pretty new to it.
No, the guys that I played around with were veterans like I was at the time that Myst came out. Because Myst...
How many years do you think you had on it by that point?
I started playing when I would say probably around the it was the summer of 2007.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time 5 years.
5 years. Oh, well, okay. Well, still, I think there's something to my idea, the newness of it. I remember going to places like, I didn't give a flying fuck about chess.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I play chess. I'm good at chess. I've always been able to whoop ass at chess. Always have. I used to go to like fucking Yahoo Chess, all right? And there was people I knew from other sites. I would see their fucking names and shit, and we'd end up getting in games, you know?
Yeah.
And it's not so much that you were there to play chess. You were just sitting there talking to this motherfucker for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
And I don't know, a lot of that shit's just gone. I mean, it just doesn't happen that way anymore.
And it's been replaced with like more of like one-on-one conversations.
Mm-hmm.
Like with if you can get through the fucking carnival of dicks that is chat roulette and find a person to actually talk to, that's a one-on-one experience.
Yeah.
I like more of like a crowd like mentality, and you kind of like pick and choose like who you want to talk to outside of that.
Yeah.
And you develop like relationships with those people.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a very big thing anymore.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. And for the most part, I see it as, even through the internet, a lot of people just can't carry a conversation.
Exactly.
It's like some of the Skype calls that I have with my buddies. Probably 80% of them wouldn't happen if I wasn't there hosting them and talking all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like the art of conversation is dead.
It really is. It really is.
And that's so like sad to me, because it's just,
well, I mean, I don't know, man. Communities just don't seem to hold together anymore. And maybe it's just endemic of the society we're in now. Well, you've got so much shit available, so many distractions.
Well, the thing about Warcraft, like, even I would call Pandaria like a very later on state, because a lot of people claim that the game died in Cataclysm.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, Cataclysm was kind of like a dead zone, and then like it sprang back to life with Pandaria, at least for me.
Yeah, well, most people will probably look at that and go like, "Fucking teddy bears, come on."
Yeah, and a lot of people did, and it was a misconception on their part, because I don't believe they read as much into the lore as what I did.
Yeah.
Your average player isn't going to be like, I don't give a fuck about this quest, and just roll along with it, and then they didn't know why they were fighting any of the fights or why anything was important through it. That's why scenarios, I think, are now gone from the game, because like scenarios were introduced in Pandaria, and it was like a way to like they're actually, I think, introduced in Cataclysm, but it was a way to play story that was happening in the world, like something that had happened, like the Blood and Snow campaign. It
was a way to make you feel like you were actually making a change in this big open world.
Yeah, and like you actually got to see the dialogue and what would happen in between like the main characters, like the main NPCs of the game. Like the Blood and Snow campaign, where you went with one of the Council of Three Hammers of the dwarves to help the humans roust out a troll nest, pretty much, so they wouldn't attack the main dwarven city. And it was an awesome way of telling a story, and they did it and they continued on like with new scenarios throughout the patches. And yet again, it encouraged people to work together, like within guilds. But dude, it was such like, I don't know why they did away with all these things.
Because once again, it's a corporation just saying, corporations get so fucking big they don't care. The only thing that matters to them is profit.
I can see that.
There's a complete disconnect, totally disconnect with the customer.
I can see that, but there's a point that MMOs make where, and WoW used to be the best at doing this, but it wasn't about the sole hero. It was about a team of adventurers.
Yeah.
And like with Dungeons and Dragons, right? It's not about the sole character. Like, even though that character is very important to whoever plays it.
Yeah, it's about the group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what they did for, those first 5 expansions. And then Warlords came out and like they made it so focused just on you. It wasn't about the greater good.
Well, the same thing with WoW happened with D&D.
Yeah.
Hey, we're coming out with a new fucking version. We're changing all the rules. All that shit you liked, well, now you got to fucking buy new and reteach yourself. And over time, they lost, version 3 come out. D&D lost people.
And then 3.5.
3.5.
And 4. And then 5.
Yeah, they're up to, they call it next. And fuck that. Fuck that. Fuck everything about it.
Yeah.
Just like you're wanting to play like the old school WoW, I'm never going past fucking edition 2. Fuck it. That's what works. That's what I like.
Well, what I would like to do is, and my suggestion for them is to introduce those legacy servers, but keep the looking for raid, looking for dungeon effects.
Yeah.
And then if you have people that are, say, geared for a certain level of content in the newest expansion, but yet they want to go back and they want to play one of those old raids, have it scale their gear down to be like everybody else's. And so like they'll do like a set amount of damage based on like normal and heroic. If they have like the normal gear for a certain raid, then it'll be like they have a normal gear tier for that expansion. Or if they have the heroic, it'll be like they have the heroic for that tier. So that's a way they kind of dumb it down. Like, even though a lot of them old raids aren't built for the mechanics of like the newer classes like Death Knights and Monks.
Yeah.
Or the double food buff of the Pandarian.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it would just be a nice way to kind of like, even though your communities are divided, it would still keep all of these people together. And I was in a guild for a day back when I started playing again here most recently. And I talked to this guy. He was 70 years old. Yeah.
Playing WoW.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah. He had played it ever since beta. We had a conversation, and he had never been involved in a raiding guild like how I was. But he had raided quite a bit and throughout all of the expansions. But his main concern was trying to have the largest guild network in the entire game, which he did. So he would have like an Alliance guild and a Horde guild, same names on every server. And then what he would do is he would build them up, all of them, to 150 people, and then put in guild masters that would all communicate with each other. This was the stupidest idea I had ever fucking heard.
What's the point?
Yeah, like nobody in that guild talked to each other. Yeah. Like there was, like, I looked in the guild, like the guild list.
I don't even understand why you would want to do that.
Yeah.
What fucking advantage?
There's no advantage to it, because like a raid team has to be a close-knit group of people.
Yeah.
Because like that is a very high stress situation, especially
you can't corporatize this shit.
No, like being a former raid leader, dude. Like, there was high stress situations to where I had to make decisions that were the best for the group. And the reason why I was able to make these decisions and why I made it a little bit easier is because I was able to get to know these people.
Yeah. And
if I was to have gear taken away from me that I had went from one character to the other, and they were a part of the same guild on say, a different server, And so I would feel like they dicked me.
Yeah.
I'd be like, fuck you guys, I'm gone.
Yeah.
And I would go through and I would ninja all the fucking loot. And like no one would ever know that I ever have done any of that shit. And I would just pretty much give like 2 fucking middle fingers. I'm like, fuck all of you, you can go to hell.
I just...
Dude, like
what I'm actually thinking about though, what the hell is missing in this guy's life?
I don't
that
like
he wants to control things like that.
And like he was so condescending in the way he talked. Like dude, like I had quit just for I think like 8 months before like resubbing and like going back through, and I told him I was like, oh yeah, I just kind of want to get into some gameplay and a little bit of raiding before the next expansion. He was like, oh yeah, it'll take you until the next expansion to be able to get geared up, and I was like, no, it'll take me 2 weeks before I'm able to do the LFR, and then probably another month before I'm able to run normal Hellfire Citadel, which is like the big shit for this latest expansion. And he was like, well, it was like, how many hours you plan on logging? And I was like, yeah, minimum. And he was like, you're so full of shit. He was like, it would take you to the next expansion. I'm like, watch me.
Well, listen here, Grandpa.
Yeah. It's like I threw around the name of the former guild that I used to be in, which I'm not going to give them any props whatsoever.
Yeah.
Let's just say some of them got paid to steal on their ass and kill bosses. I threw around the name of that guild, and he was like, oh, bullshit. And I'm like, really? Go look at my achievements.
Yeah.
Go look at them.
Yeah. No bullshit. I used to actually be with these people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like no shit. It was like a week or 2 after they all got their gear, but it was like, all right, B team, your time's up.
Yeah.
And we pretty much it was like a half and half group.
Yeah.
Like half from the A team, half from the B team, and we got geared like in no time. But you still have to know all the fights and all the mechanics and be able to play at that level. We're talking about like the amount of gameplay I did and the Twitch reaction that like my eyeball would go dry and it would like start having muscle spasms around it.
Yeah.
And I had to use Clear Eyes to be able to like, it wouldn't stop the spasms, it would just stop the dryness.
Yeah.
And so like the spasms would still happen, I would still play, but at least the dryness stopped.
Yeah, those video game headaches and shit.
Well, I didn't get any headaches.
Oh my god.
Because
I get them sometimes. Like if I don't know what the fuck causes it, but I always start getting it in my right eye. Just if I'm staring at a screen too fucking long, I'll feel it like this pressure right behind my fucking eye, and it's like, oh my god, here comes a fucking skull popper. I can just feel it building. Dude,
my weird thing is, and what you know about it, like for me to be able to look at a screen, and if it's dark, I have to have the light on. Yeah. Or else like I get a massive headache.
Well, I can't look like for a long time directly at screens. I can't watch television, really. I can't look at a computer wearing my glasses unless I'm, I don't know, 10 foot away from it. You know, otherwise it'll kill my fucking eyeballs, dude. Yeah. I can't do it. I don't know how people can sit and look at a computer up close wearing glasses.
If I didn't have them, I wouldn't be able to tell what the fuck was on the screen. Like, to be completely honest, it would just be one big blur. Like, my eyesight is terrible. Yeah. Like, it's not as bad as my dad's, but my dad has one eye. So, like, he has, like, more stress on that one eye than I do on the both of mine. But my mom's vision is slowly getting better.
Really?
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
That is fucked.
But like my eyes are like have always been worse than hers. Like when I first got my glasses when I was like in 4th grade, 2nd grade, I remember when. But we all 3 got glasses at the same time, and her prescription I think went up then, and then like we got them again when I was like in 8th grade. Her prescription stayed the same. Mine went up. My dad's went up, and then like. The last time we went to go have them, my prescription went up, dad's went up, hers went down. Like she's actually she can like get away with wearing a pair of reading glasses.
That's nuts. I mean, well, good. I'm happy for her, you know. Lord knows I wished I didn't have to wear the damn things. I never got glasses until I was 23. Yeah, I had no idea that how bad I actually saw from distance. I had no fucking idea.
I didn't either until like I was like, oh hey, I can see things now.
Well, I was in Florida, and I remember pointing to a fucking Joe Camel sign. There was a billboard like near where we lived.
Wow.
And I remember asking my buddy. I pointed at it. I was like, hey man, what the fuck does it say under, like the smaller print up there on that billboard? What does it say? And my friend looked at me and he's like, you can't fucking read that? And the way he said it to me was like, you fucking moron. What the fuck?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's like, what are you, literate or something?
Well, no, I mean, then I realized that like if I squinted or if I made like a peephole lens using my finger, you take your hand and peep through the little crack.
Yeah, the little slit.
Yeah, and you move back and forth, you kind of focus it, and I'm like, holy shit, now I can read it. I might have to have fucking glasses.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
And then it was almost another year before I actually got my eyes checked.
I know, like, I think it was one of my teachers that took notice, like, me squinting.
Yeah.
All the time. And then, like, they had said something, like, the teacher said something to my parents, and then my parents were like, yeah, go ahead and give him an eye test while he's there. And then it was down here at the elementary school.
Yeah.
And so they gave me an eye test, and they were like, you're pretty bad. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And just like, they were like, so my parents took me to get glasses and shit, so.
Well, I remember, like, so I was 23, and I went to get my eyes checked, and I remember the fucking ophthalmologist, whatever you call him.
Yeah.
He handed me this lens, and he's like, I want you to go to the fucking door, look out over the parking lot and shit. He said, just kind of look through that and tell me if this looks good to you. And I walked out to the door, and I remember looking across this fucking parking lot, and all right, everything's blurry in the distance. That's normal.
Yeah.
I held up that lens, and all of a sudden everything went fucking clear. And I like dropped it, looked again. Holy fuck! There's a whole fucking world out here. I didn't even.
New world.
Yeah. A whole new world.
Disney, please don't sue.
Oh, fuck fucking Disney.
But yeah, dude, I remember like being like fitted for my first pair, and I put the ones that just had the plastic lenses, and I put them on, and like even those were better than what my eyes were.
Yeah.
And like I went from not being able to read this fucking banner sign in Walmart to be able to reading it.
Yeah.
And I was like, you have to be fucking kidding me.
Yeah.
And then like I got my actual prescription glasses, and it used to be a blur for me, like probably 10 feet and beyond.
Yeah.
And after that I was just like, woof, like everything opened up.
Yeah.
But dude, like I said, like if now all like pretty much all I can make out is like I know their words, but I can't even tell what language it is.
Yeah.
And I'm just like what, 2 feet away from my computer monitor.
Yeah.
So
well, with me, it surprises me. I mean, I can see well enough. I can drive without them, but like road signs, I can't see the motherfuckers till they're goddamn near passing me. Like what they say, and I can get around without them.
There's no way in fuck I could.
Well, I look back though, like see when I was 23 and got them glasses, and I'm like, how the fuck? I used to be like a crack ass shot with a rifle. And I'm like, this shit is. I realize now how blurry it is.
Uh-huh.
How the fuck was I so goddamn good at longer distance shooting? I guess it was just instinctual, And
maybe it was like what you said, the slit in the hands trick.
Yeah.
Maybe that was the same way with the sights too.
Just squinting at it or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I used to be, really fucking good shooting a 22 and shit.
Yeah, it was probably also like pattern recognition and movement recognition.
Just aim for the blob.
Yeah, aim for the moving blob.
Yeah. Getting away from glasses and such. I have no idea how in the hell we got on that.
Oh, no telling.
Yeah. Since we're talking about things we see.
Things you look at with ye old peepers.
That's right. got to watch a couple of flicks this week, and one was damn good.
Mm-hmm.
The other one, I don't even know how to fucking... You have to watch this movie because make up your own mind, because I'm almost numb to this movie. All right, I'm gonna start with let me start with the bad first.
Okay.
All right. Space Station 76. All right.
It already sounds like Planet 9 from outer space.
Yeah. Well,
anything with a number and a title that's about space automatically makes me think about that.
Yeah. Well, you watch the promo trailer for it, and they play it off like it's this goofy comedy. It's supposed to be a space station, of course, but with that 1976 futuristic idea.
Yeah.
Everything is that fucking mindset. Now, the movie is shot well.
Okay.
The actors are fucking good in it. All right. They keep your attention. And the set design is fucking dead on. I mean, certain concepts, they're fucking perfect. Just the way that people act and things, like showing people casually smoking a cigarette.
Yeah.
And they're on the space station. Which way it should be because you have big ass fucking scrubbers. Sorry. I'd be the guy wanting to smoke a cigarette on the space station. Fuck you. That's what the filter's for.
Yeah.
But,
you can do it in the airlock.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Fucking suck my airlock. But the movie, I don't know what the fuck they were aiming at. Because there's a couple of points that you can tell I think they meant for this shit to be comedy, but it's not. And
like the tone was just off?
The tone is just totally fucking off. Like, there's this scene with Liv Tyler. All right?
Okay.
And, like, I'm trying to remember how it goes. She goes to move across the room and, like, kicks a fucking coffee table. And it's just, like, boom, ow, ow, ow.
Like ZZ Top at the beginning of a song. Ow, 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 ow.
Yeah, I just got this image of Liv Tyler with a fucking beard. Which is closer to this movie than you think.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. Anyway, and they play it off for a second like, was that supposed to be a humorous moment? Where she kicks this fucking table and shit? And another one, like, this guy's got this mechanical hand. And he got it in the military. It's supposed to be like, it's just robot hand. Something happened, he fucked up in the military, got issued this.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this scene where he goes like, reach out and touch her chest or something. And the hand goes nuts and starts like squeezing her tit. Yeah. It's not funny. I mean, just you can tell this was meant to be a humorous scene, but it's like, what the fuck? Where's the laughs?
Yeah.
There's no laughs hardly in this whole fucking movie.
It was almost like it needed a laugh track in the background.
It really did. It needed a 70s style.
Fuck me.
Yeah, fucking Three's Company laugh track put in.
And on next time on...
Yeah. Come walk through our airlock. But
oh, Lordy.
There was, like I said, there was a lot of it that's really good. But
it just seemed off. Like
way the fuck off.
Like they didn't know what they were trying to do with it. And
yeah. I don't know. But it's well written, well executed, well done. No fucking laughs, really. And
so it's just tone deaf. That's a very weird thing to be in a film, because there are movies that are bad for one of the standard reasons, but to be bad because of tone.
Yeah, it's just, how the fuck can you have such good actors, a decent story that kind of makes sense, but it just don't go nowhere? I mean, and you really do care about these characters, the way they play them off, And there's some tragic shit, like the little girl unthawing the fucking frozen puppy. Yeah, they don't even really explain it. It just shows her on Christmas. She was given this fucking dog that's in it's cryogenically frozen.
Uh-huh.
And her mother's a bitch and doesn't want her to have it, so she's using it like as a weapon against this other woman. Like look how mean she is, you know. And the little girl pulls the dog out of the fucking freezer, like, and shows it defrosting. And then you see a scene, it's at the end of the film, where they show a little thing on the side, you know, do not thaw. Like, it was supposed to be a special process to bring this animal back, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you just see the box, you know? And the girl's just walking off and does her thing. And you realize it's a super sad fucking moment for this little girl. You know? Her parents are having like this big fucked up fight in front of everybody and shit. And this is her singing by herself, you know, thawing this animal out, trying to have a friend. And they went through this whole thing about how she had a hamster and how that the mama hamster keeps killing all the babies, like eating their heads and shit. And they even go through a scene where she's trying she takes the last baby hamster to the fucking garden on the ship, going to try to turn it loose in the garden, let it be free. And this whole scene, you know, to go through the effort of that scene, the heartfelt moment, you know, the little girl's brokenhearted and shit over the whole motherhood concept. And at the end, the dog's fucking dead and nothing. No feeling, no emotion to that. It was just very, I don't know, cut and dry, you know?
Like,
yeah, the movie, I can't explain it. I, honest to God, cannot explain this fucking movie. And
because I can feel like my circuit's starting to pop from just trying to wrap my head around. It's like oh yeah, it's supposed to be is the dog thawing supposed to be funny?
Yeah, was it supposed to be funny? Was it supposed to be at this I think a heartbreaking moment? But the kid's reaction doesn't play right.
Yeah, but the heartbreaking moment in a comedy, to me, is like, all right, take National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Yeah.
The heartbreaking moment is when he finds out that it's the Jam of the Month Club is his bonus.
Yeah.
And like comedy ensues from that. Cause that's a comedic situation.
The heartbreaking moment was in that other film was, you know, like the dog when the cop comes up and he's holding the collar.
Yeah. Yeah.
Poor guy. He kept up with you for what, a mile or two?
Yeah, but see, like that's the situation matching the rest of the film.
Yeah, there's more.
And if you just have like little taste of comedy, like like you can do it in an overall like more serious film, like say Star Wars.
Yeah,
like Han Solo.
Oh, this doesn't approach Star Wars at
all.
Well,
yeah, but tone wise, all right. Cloud City when they first get there.
Yeah.
And
that's what this kind of imagine
or not the Cloud City scene.
Imagine,
was it it was the Cloud City scene when they were all running around trying to escape Vader.
Life on that space station to me would have been like, this is what it'd been like to live on Cloud City. Or Joe Schmo in fucking Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah.
Lives down on C deck.
Yeah. You know? But like Han running through the stormtroopers.
Yeah.
Like that was a funny scene, even though like they were trying to escape being captured by Darth Vader. That was a funny part. The tone was right.
Mm-hmm. They never get the tone right in this movie.
That's so strange.
I mean,
and that's such a hard concept to like try to explain to someone too. Because like either you know tone or you don't.
Well, there's this whole fucking scene. It should have been hilariously funny.
Mm-hmm.
All right, where this guy, Tyler's character, all right, she's a like co-captain or something, but she also helps take care of like the garden.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and you find out one of the other crew members, the guy with the fake hand, that he's been growing weed in the garden. Yeah, and you could have this whole big humorous setup with it. And shit falls flat as fuck.
Like you can almost have like a biodome kind of thing too.
Yeah.
Where it's like two stoners.
Yeah, they do. She doesn't know about weed.
Wow.
And then she actually goes and looks it up. What is it? So when he realizes, shit, the gig's up, he lights up a joint, hands it to her, and the two of them smoke a joint. And it shows them laughing and ha, you know. And then like, seriously, dude, that fucking fast. Boop. The scene's over, and he literally just walks the fuck off. You'd have to see. You've got to watch this movie to see the way some of this shit went.
Well, bye.
Pretty much. And it's like, what the fuck just happened here? You know.
So it was also a problem too of not knowing how to end a scene or like how to like. Yeah. Like I admit, like, we have some pretty hard segues sometimes, but nothing like of like me walking off from the microphone and being like, it's like, all right, movie time.
Yeah. I don't know how they could get so much of this movie so fucking right.
But yet, because like, if you fuck up the tone, like, the entire movie's gonna be bad. Well, there's like that would be like trying to put a laugh track over Barry Lyndon.
Well, there's this whole thing where the cat...
Like it took you.
I have to admit though, I did laugh my ass off when he got his leg shot off. Yeah, I laughed like a fucking lunatic. Yeah, but I mean, to me, it was just over the fact about like, yep, that's how gunfights go. Yep, just bang, somebody's on the ground, you know. But the captain, there's this whole thing, and of course, I think they're touching back. And in the 70s, people were repressed about a lot of shit, and you find out the captain's gay. Okay. All right. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a damn if he's queer or not. Don't care. But he's in denial, even though he straight up has a fucking boyfriend, right? Mm-hmm. And the boyfriend got transferred to some other thing. And as a part of the whole show, they keep bringing up what happened to him. What happened to him? He tells different people different things. You know, what happened to the guy. And there's a scene where he calls him up like on the holophone, right? And the guy answers and he's wearing a towel and shit. And it's just this weird, awkward fucking scene. You know, where he's talking to like his ex-boyfriend. And then it switches over to where he's got the footage where he recorded the guy talking to him. And it's this guy, it's all cut up. And he's saying, I want to make love to you. You know, like all put together, stitched.
Like a soundboard?
Yeah. And the captain starts beating off to it. And I'm looking at this and I'm like, is this supposed to be a comedy scene? Or is this supposed to be like one of those tragic moments like
he's so lonely.
Yeah, because it shows him several times trying to kill himself. Okay? And something always fucks up. Something always fucks up when he tries to kill himself. It's like he drops a radio into the fucking bathtub with himself, and instead of killing him, the computer throws the switches and saves his life. It says rerouting power, you know, that kind of thing. Are we supposed to be laughing at what's happening to him? Like, or are we just supposed to feel like really fucking troubled for this guy?
Like, I understand, like, all comedy comes from misery.
Oh yeah, all humor is pain. Yeah, all of it.
But that doesn't make it funny.
I can't describe it. I honestly cannot describe it. Now there is a couple of scenes that are humorous, but I don't think they really meant for them to be humorous. Like the quote robot counselor, which is like, dude, seriously, a fucking like 70s, 80s Tommy fucking robot. You know, toy type robot. Yeah. And
when you said robot counselor, I just thought of the robot from Hitchhiker's Guide. Yeah. That was super depressed all the time.
That was, yeah, which in the book made even other machines kill themselves.
Yeah, like that's what I would want my robot counselor to be like.
Well, the captain hacks him.
Okay.
And he kind of social engineers the fucking robot in that he's talking to him. And he begins to realize, wait a minute, the robot just throws out a pretty pat response to anything I fucking say. And like he brings up something about wanting to smoke a cigarette, and the robot starts in, if you stop smoking now, it'll take add so many years to your life, and blah 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 blah. Fuck yourself, bullshit. You know the crap I'm talking about. Yeah, the anti-smoker bullshit. Yeah, but the captain starts fucking like looking at him and goes, cigarettes. And then the robot says this shit again. And he like brings up something else like tomorrow. And, and he begins to realize that every fucking thing coming from this robot
is a set response.
Yeah. Yeah. And which is funny because there's this other scene where this woman, the little girl's mother, she's like all wrapped up in believing that shit. Like, she's so fucking simple-minded, she just eats it up.
Like, I would just...
And that part was kind of funny, but it was funny because I was looking at the captain, I'm like, yeah, that's about the way I would do. I'd realize that motherfucker's doing pat responses.
Just be like, fuck face, and like, it's fucking stoned, and like, think of words to say to the robot.
Exactly, you know? What's this so much going to do when I say, jizz monkeys?
Response not found.
Yeah, it's just, yeah, tone deaf, I think, is the best way to describe this film. Like I said, it's really good in a lot of parts and just completely flat. Yeah.
That sounds almost depressing.
Well, thing is, though, I'd say watch it.
Just to see, like, an example of, like, tone deafness in film?
Yeah, just that in... Dude, it was actually a good concept.
Yeah.
A 1970s space station. If done proper, that could have been a damn good film. I mean, it really fucking reminded me of, like, Space 1999. Which I don't know if you ever seen that.
Nah, I haven't.
Yeah, it was from back when I was a kid, you know, like real little. But it kind of reminded me of that, of like, what would space actually fucking be like once we have space stations and artificial gravity?
Huh.
It's not all going to look like fucking NASA, and it's not going to be stupid crazy shit, you know. It's just going to be just regular people. Well, like you said, it's going to be fucking Cloud City.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's why I like the movie Space Trucker, which I don't know if you ever seen.
I haven't.
Yeah, you got to watch Space Trucker. Is it Space Trucker or Space Truckers?
Yeah, it's Space Truckers.
All right. Well, yeah.
I think I've seen Space... I've seen the 70s Space Truckers?
Sure, 70s?
Yeah, there's the one from 1996, but there is one that was made in the 70s that is super cheese. Because, like, my dad has it on, like, 100 science fiction.
I might have seen it and just don't remember that one.
Yeah, and it is a piece of shit.
Well, the one I'm thinking about...
It's from 96.
Yeah, I like the concept of regular, common people out in space, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, this is what life is going to be. I mean...
Like, they're not going to be super scientists at, like, a point. They're going to be all booger flickers like we are.
Yeah. You know, I mean, like the movie Space Truckers, about a guy who he drove a semi-truck hauling shit back and forth.
Yeah.
You know? It's like in Enterprise, you know, the TV show Enterprise. I love the one guy's story about how he grew up on the Boomer, which was just a long-term fucking transport going between stars. You know, and he literally grew up on one of these ships, like, as a kid. You know, making like 1 or 2 trips.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the shit I would love to fucking see. Which, all right. Now, going from the blah and the bland, all right, get into a little bit of a better film. I got to see 1971's Silent Running. That movie fucking rocks, dude. All right. It's almost like the world that WALL-E was based on. Imagine a world that has become so fucking overpopulated, so technologically advanced, right? That the Earth stays at a constant 75-degree temperature everywhere all year.
75 degrees.
75 degrees. All right. To save it, America launches a program, right, where we take the last examples from every national forest of, like, you know, they've got different ships with different names, and it's so fucking crazy. If you look, they're American Airlines freighter ships. The guys on board are wearing patches and shit. You see, like, American Airlines.
Duh.
Yeah. And the idea is that they use the freighters. They put these big domed gardens.
That's what I'm looking at here from the box art.
Okay. And it's fucking cool as hell. I mean, they've got, like, every environment you can imagine. You know, they've got the desert, they've got the mountains, They've got Florida, that kind of thing.
Because Florida is its own special ecosystem, involving mostly meth heads, old Jewish couples down there for the winter, and really
people sneaking up from Cuba.
Really terrible rappers.
Yeah. But it's really cool, though. They've been on this mission for like 8 years. Mm-hmm. And the idea is that they would save the gardens, save the plants, take them into space, and that someday they'd be able to come back and try to repopulate the Earth with them. I can't remember the name of the ship that the guy's on. But the movie, the way it really starts, is this guy on board a ship, and he's dressed like a monk. And he's tending his gardens and shit. And you realize that on this ship, he's the only one that actually gives a shit. The other ones, it's just a fucking job, and they don't care at all. And there's this whole big fight that the guy has with them about the food. They're eating processed, little in the machines make shit for them, hand them pellets and crap.
Yeah.
And they just eat it. And they're bitching that the vegetables and stuff stink. Like he's opening a cantaloupe and, they're bitching about the smell.
Yeah.
And he goes into it, like, what's the difference? I fucking grew this. This is real food.
Yeah.
They don't give a fuck. Fuck it. I'm here for a job. Well, suddenly the order comes that they're to return the freighters back to service. They're to recall back to Earth. All right. They're essentially in the orbit of Saturn. All right. And you're like this. Some of the footage in this movie was meant to be used in 2001.
Huh.
Yeah.
The Saturn special effects that had to get cut due to...
It's in this movie. Yeah, the guy that did special effects for 2001 is the one that did this film.
Fuck.
And, which I'm glad he used it. He found a good way to use it. Well, they're to disconnect from every one of the gardens, okay? Launch them into space and then fucking set them off with nukes and destroy them. Yeah.
So like all that work and investment just to blow it up.
Yeah, because fuck it, corporate profits, and that's what's important.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I said it reminds me of the world of Wall-E before the world totally died.
Yeah.
He rebels. All right. They're launching the different, I think he's the Yorktown or something. I can't remember the name of the ship. Anyway, his guys are launching the gardens off and blow up a couple of them. All right. He's in his favorite garden, which is the Florida garden.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the crew members comes down and is telling him to get the fuck out of it. We got to set the bomb and blow this fucker up. And he puts his foot down. He's like, no, we're not blowing this fucking garden up. You're out of your fucking mind. This is insane what you're talking about doing. And he ends up killing the guy. Yeah, he chokes him to death with a fucking shovel. Now, if the guy comes at him and he's holding a shovel, like, I'm not going to let you do this.
Yeah.
Get in a fight, the guy grabs the shovel and hits him in the fucking leg with it. Like, cuts him deep with that shovel. So he ends up taking it and he strangles the dude to death with it. And then he leaves that situation. He realizes the two other guys are in this other dome. And I remember, I think it's the desert that they're in. Well, he lets that fucking garden loose from the ship because they're trapped in it,
mm-hmm.
and then fucking detonates it with them in it.
Duh.
Yeah. And essentially, he now owns the ship and fakes that something's wrong with it, that the ship's out of control. It's the detonation's fucked it up or something. And he falls in towards Saturn and like he survives it. The dive into Saturn's gravity throws him like way the fuck out into deep space. And they come looking for him, They think he's lost, but they're out looking for him. He then sets about, just fuck it, I'm growing the garden. It's the last one left. I'm going to take care of it. And he's got these 3 robots. And which, dude, when you watch the fucking film, look at them robots. Your first instinct is, how the fuck do these robots walk? They're too wide, set too far apart.
They look like the lunar landers.
Yeah, they look really fucking bizarre. I find out later that every one of them in those suits is an amputee. Like somebody that was literally cut almost in two, like under their waist.
Oof.
Yeah, and that's why that the legs are so far apart. They're walking on their hands. Because they show pictures of the guys in the suits. Yeah. It took me forever. I was like, how in the fuck? Is that puppetry? You know, were they using puppets or what? Because I kept looking for strings and never could see them, you know?
It looks like it's a really good use of practical effects from...
Oh, man. It's
from what I saw in here. And I know, like, I haven't been able to catch any good pictures of Saturn itself, really. But Kubrick's main problem, the reason why he didn't use it, is because he didn't like the way that the rings looked.
Yeah.
Like, it would have taken a little bit too long. And plus, like, I think people have more of a connection with Jupiter, it being the biggest planet.
Well, there's also, once again, we'd have to do our own show on that fucking movie.
Yeah.
There's some bigger connections with Saturn and what does Saturn actually mean. And
God, it's out there.
Yeah, out there?
Out there is an understatement.
The story is in further orbit than Saturn itself is.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, like I said, he gets bored. He reprograms the computers, the robots, to play poker with him. And they get to cheating and fucking beating him. Yeah. And you realize that they might have an emotion because, like, he accidentally hits one with a buggy. And he's just fucking around and shit. And the damn robot gets in his way and he accidentally hits him. And one of the other robots won't leave, like, the side of that one.
Huh.
But I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but the way the movie ends, they find him, all right? And that they're coming to get him. He takes the one robot that's fucked up, he tells it to stay with him. The other robot, he sets the garden up with these big lights and shit to keep them lit, you know? And he tells that robot, this is your job from now on, you take care of this garden. And then he disconnects it from the ship and launches it into space.
Huh.
Like, just throws it into deep space. And then proceeds to go back to the ship and set off the nukes. Just completely suicides himself.
Yeah.
And that was the end. And that part bugged the fuck out of me because I was like, as much as they talked about, and I understand it's almost like that other film. There is this leftist little piece in it. Conservation bullshit. You know, like it shows above his bed is the Smokey the Bear fucking pledge.
Yeah.
And like he literally had the patch of Smokey on his arm. You know. But I think this guy, he would have went back to Earth to try to champion this stuff. You know, instead of killing himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he actually had it in mind that he was waiting for him to recall to go home. Because as he said, no one else in the whole park service has as much experience as he did. He thought that someday he was going to get called back and be head of all park service.
Huh.
And like literally be the one to save the earth, you know?
A little bit, like a little extra trivia here. I'm looking at the Starship comparison chart, like a section of it. And the ship that he has is it's a little bit more than half the length of a Star Destroyer.
Yeah.
That's pretty fucking long.
Yeah, they're fucking huge.
That's what it looks like. Holy God.
Yeah, I even read that there's a couple of collectors. They still actually have two of the domes.
Wow.
Yeah, some museum has one and some collector has the other one. And they even use that ship and the farms in Battlestar Galactica.
Nah.
There's scenes where you see the convoy and you see that ship and it's supposed to represent the garden ship for the convoy.
That does not surprise me one bit. They would repurpose, other effects.
Oh, yeah. Well, another thing that reminded me of WALL-E. All right, but at the same time, I could look at it and I said, yep, that's American as hell. Is that inside the ship, not only is there like the American Airlines patch, who owns the fucking spaceships, the storage containers and shit say things like Dow Chemical on the side.
Duh.
One said Coca-Cola. Ditch Witch. Yeah, the machine I'm talking about looks like a big chainsaw meant for cutting in the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a scene where the robot is operating a ditch witch, and you see the name real big on the side.
That's craziness.
But it fits so well because I was like, yeah, that is the way America would do things.
Outsourcing.
Corporate sponsorship, It's like the time I think it was Pizza Hut paid the Russians to put the Pizza Hut logo on the side of the rocket. Yeah, that actually happened once, dude.
I know there was a joke in the mid 2000s where they were thinking about projecting stuff up on the moon.
Yeah.
And they were like, Pizza Hut advertising, and I was like, Pizza Hut sucks.
Well, you remember even Heinlein talked about it.
Yeah.
And he brought that up. What if then, and this was a legitimate fear.
Brought to you by Carl's Jr.
Well, it was a legitimate fear that, like the 50s, they were afraid that if the Russians got to the moon first, what the fuck would we do if they drew a giant hammer and sickle on it? I mean, it wouldn't be that hard to drop dust onto the lunar surface and draw a picture.
Yeah.
Yeah. What the fuck would you do for the next 1,000 years? You look up and here's a hammer and sickle above you.
What we would do is we would get like a giant space blow dryer.
Somebody goes up there and just draws a giant cock right on.
Can you imagine the lunar janitor when fucking moon graffiti becomes a thing?
Oh my god. Somebody done fucking put dick butt on the damn moon again. Look, everybody, dick butt. 3rd time this year. Brought to you by Coca-Cola. Son of a bitch.
Brought to you by 4chan. Oh,
just God. Says fuck moot real big on it.
Oh, God.
But yeah, like I said, if you get a chance, man, watch that movie. You'll like it.
It looks really interesting, and I'm a huge nerd for practical effects.
Oh, yeah. There's a little bit of a lull in the middle of it, and a lot of the potential was never really reached.
Yeah.
They could have done so much more with this film, but for an old sci-fi flick, it's fucking beautiful. I mean, there's a lot of imagination. And even watching that, I'm like, dude, 2001, this movie, how much fucking influence did this have on Star Wars and shit later? The idea of the droids and the robots.
Well, they showed us a side-by-side comparison of one of the robots in R2-D2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you notice how clunky it is? I mean, it's like a light. It has a big light on it.
Yeah.
And if you look, you can tell that's a car light.
Yep, I can see it now.
Mm-hmm. Which is, in a way, though, I kind of like that because that's more real world to me. Now, maybe in the Star Wars world, R2's fucking projector was standard equipment.
Yeah.
But I could see a robot being built where he has fucking car headlights on him and, that kind of shit. He looks like a mix of parts,
It'd be something more, I don't know, not realistic, but it's a repurposing type of thing.
Yeah, and more industrial.
Yeah.
Yeah, like an industrial type robot.
Like they do with a whole bunch of like industrial parts and shit. It's like for tractors.
Yeah.
Like even though they might be different brands of tractors, like the equipment still works with all of them.
Yeah.
Like you can hitch up like something that isn't John Deere to a John Deere and it'll still work.
Yeah. Whether you need the fucking the brush or you need the fucking front loader or what.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess it goes back to my idea of, like I said, the common man in space.
Mm-hmm.
That's the kind of shit that's actually going to be real in the future. Not no special made NASA shit. It's going to be pretty much off the shelf technology at some point. Especially with the machines, where they have to do like 14 fucking jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not just anything that's specialized. As what Alton Brown would call unitaskers.
Exactly.
Like I can see like more like surgery droids.
Mm-hmm.
Like more important jobs than just, irrigation and the actual farm work.
Well, matter of fact, he uses those robots as surgery droids. When he was hit by that shovel, that's one of the things he does is he quickly reprograms the robots to come in and do surgery on his leg. Yeah, telling like one, you'll do the cutting and exploration. You will number 2. You will assist this one. Yeah, this other one's in charge of the gas. Yeah, and I like the name he gives the 3 robots: Huey, Dewey, and Louie.
That's great.
Yeah, which once again, that's the kind of real bullshit that would happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you would name your robots.
Well, yeah, people name their cars.
Yeah.
Which people always stuck with like R2-D2. R2 and C-3PO. Or Luke used to call him 3PO.
Yeah.
Drop the C. It never occurred to anybody that maybe, instead of C-3PO, that they should call him Jeeves. Or something like that.
You look like a Steven. So
exactly.
How about that?
You are a Ruprecht.
Oh, Lord.
And people name their cars.
Yeah.
I
call mine the Bitchmobile.
Yeah. Yeah.
It looks like a lady car.
It is awful purple.
It is awful feminine.
Yeah.
But yet again, like 32 miles to the gallon, I'm not going to argue much.
Yeah.
Like it could have like spray painted pink dicks all over it and just... It's like, I don't even care.
Fuck it. Not with that gas mileage.
Nope. Well, this has been another fine Picklestick production of the Generation Gap podcast. I've been Lunchbox.
I'm Gleek.
And we'll see y'all next time.